Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today's webinar is simplifying objective findings to maximize growth and retention. Let's get started. So here we see an image of a pyramid, and I want to ask you, what does success look like to you? What does it look like to you? Because we've been asking this question to thousands of doctors over the last 20 years, and we've heard a lot of different answers. Doctors want a family practice. They want to see 100 visits a week or 600 visits a week. They want to have multiple doctors in the practice. They want to have multiple practices. They want to have endless new patients. The list goes on and on. But you know what they all want? The one common denominator they all have, and it's not just helping people. It's having a successful practice that makes money. So for the pyramid's sake, that's what we're going to define as success. It's a measurement of money, because making more money means you can hire an assistant. You can pay your employees better, buy equipment, take vacations, pay off your student loan debt, and so much more, right? And in fact, we've never had one single doctor tell us they did not want to make more money. No matter the type of doctor, the size of practice, if they accepted insurance or they're cash-based, they all want to make more money. Now, we know that success is more than making money, but we've also seen that not making money is definitely like the most significant stress for doctors. Because what does it feel like when you don't have enough money to meet your monthly obligations? You're stressed out. You're burned out. You're frustrated in practice. Sucks. But let's imagine having just the opposite. What would it look like and feel like to have more money than your obligations require? I think we can all agree it sure feels a whole lot better having extra money in the bank. And in our 20 plus years of helping doctors, it's become painfully clear that there are two drivers that ultimately determine how much money you make in practice. I'm Holly Jensen, Chief Operations Officer of Cash Practice, and we've made it our mission to help more doctors skyrocket their cash collections. We're the only company in the industry that can help you address the two most common factors that will determine if you'll collect more money or not. Like this doctor, who's been a cash practice client for many years, as you can see. And her revenue started out in 2009 as $206,000 a year. And by the end of 2022, her collections were at 2.2 million. And this is during like the shutdown, right? See, her collections continually just improved year after year. Here's another example. This doctor, in 2017, his collections were at 1.8 million. And in 2022, finished out the year at 4.6 million. These are their cash collections. No insurance revenue was recorded in these case studies. Conversion and retention are the driving forces of your revenue and success. In fact, studies have shown that just a 5% improvement in retention can grow profit by 75%. Like, how incredible is that? Wouldn't you want that in an effort to better your life and your practice? Of course. Before I became COO of Cash Practice, I was Dr. Miles Bodson's CA. Now, in this slide, this is over 20 years ago. I'm there in the middle and Dr. Bodson on the right. You see the name of the practice is the Chiropractic Wellness Center. And we've been doing this for a long time. Oh gosh, look at, there's me in 2002. That's when I brand new little baby CA. But since then, Dr. Bodson and I travel all over the country for different chiropractic colleges and state conventions, teaching doctors some of the things that you're going to learn in this webinar today. In Dr. Batson's practice, his conversion and retention was quite impressive. In fact, he had a 95% conversion rate and a patient visit average of just over 300. That's 24 times the national average of 12. That means nearly 100% of our new patients enrolled into care and followed through. And we had incredible profits from this. And what you see are images of patient visits from our travel cards. Just to illustrate this point, like how long people stayed. And now, as COO, who's had a hand in helping thousands of practices, I can tell you that the only practices that have success like this are those that are really good at both conversion and retention. Quite frankly, I know some of you are good at conversion, but bad at retention. And if you're bad at conversion, we know your retention suffers. So what's the point of marketing for a bunch of new patients if you don't convert over 90% of them? And what's the point of converting patients if they're not following through? For any doctor to have more success and cash, you need to be great at both. So what determines high conversion and retention? Patient loyalty. You see, the practices that are making good money have a lot of loyal patients. And those patients stay longer, they refer more, and they're easier to care for. And we've cracked the code. We've created the loyal patient journey, and we've discovered there's 11 critical steps that you must master to turn ordinary patients into loyal ones. If you're not executing these 11 steps with every new patient, it's costing you conversion, retention, or both. And some of you are great at some of the steps and terrible at others. And maybe you don't even know that there's 11 steps. This is the first time you're hearing about it. It took us years and lots of study to identify these steps. And when done correctly, we call them the loyal patient journey. So what drives patient loyalty during these 11 steps? And by the way, I'll share with you how to get your free copy of the loyal patient journey, so stay tuned. Throughout the loyal patient journey, we have 4 business principles that we refer to as the 4 F's that are strategically being applied. Loyal patients need feedback. Loyal patients need forecasting of care. They need a frictionless payment experience, and they need frequent contact, all throughout the 11 steps of the journey. And when correctly applied, patients become loyal. And ultimately, when you do this with enough people, you end up having more success converting them, and more importantly, retaining them, giving you the high retention practice, money, and success you desire. And if you're not experiencing high conversion and retention, it's because one or more of the 11 steps are flawed in your practice. I mean, it's as simple as that. Each of these 11 steps uses one or more of the 4 F's to put your patient on the path to loyalty. And if your journey fails, you've set your patient up to drop out of care prematurely, sabotaging your and your patient's success. In fact, in this journey, we identify many areas where patients can drop out. And these are shown here as the danger zones. So for example, when patients feel better, drop out of care, there's things that you could be doing to neutralize that so it doesn't even happen. And I'll review that in a moment. We're the only company that uniquely addresses these 2 areas of conversion and retention using our proven 11-step loyal patient journey. In fact, we wrote the recipe and developed proprietary software for implementing the loyal patient journey seamlessly into your practice. You literally cannot get this anywhere else. In today's webinar, we're going to focus on the retention principle of feedback. Why? Well, feedback has a direct impact on your conversion and retention. So we addressed what poor retention and conversion is costing you, but let's switch gears here. What is poor conversion and retention costing your patients? Poor conversions and premature dropout are the leading causes of patients not getting the full benefit of care. They're getting poor clinical outcomes. Now imagine what that looks like. Patient gets started with care. They initially start with an overall health and wellness grade of an F, which means they're in poor health. And then they start feeling better because the pain goes away. And we can only get them as far as a D+. And they drop out. That sucks. That leads to patients who leave your practice and then share with people like, oh, I tried chiropractic. It didn't work for me. But let's imagine the patient potential in your practice. Imagine that patients came in for their initial consultation, exam, x-rays, and you determine from everything you've measured, their overall health and wellness is an F. They enroll into care, and at each re-exam, you measure the progress that they're making. They go from an F to a D, to a C, to a B, to an A. That's pretty powerful. It's a lifetime practice member there. They're getting results. So what are you currently doing to demonstrate feedback in your report of findings and your re-exams? Maybe you're doing scans, you're doing x-rays, you're doing posture analysis. But these are all things that take some explanation. And I'm not saying don't do them. They're fantastic tools. But it ends up creating explanation and confusion. Now, imagine telling patients that based upon everything you've measured, those scans, those x-rays, those posture analysis, and whatever else you're measuring, you package it up and you measure it, and you tell the patient, based upon everything we've measured in your exam, your overall health and wellness is a D. And our goal here in practice is to get you as close to an A as possible by improving your overall health and wellness. It changes the conversation away from pain. Imagine showing your new patient their wellness score, and instead of them asking, Doc, what do I have to do to get rid of this neck pain? They ask, Doc, what do I have to do to get an A? Letter grades are easy for patients to understand. Nothing needs explained. They just get it. And we use a tool called the wellness score, and it gives your patients the feedback they need using simple to understand report cards like you got in school, making it much easier for your patients to commit to care and stay the course. When creating a wellness score, you're simply measuring the things that you're already doing. In fact, we have a whole library of probably about 150 different parameters. You pick and choose what it is that you want to measure, and you can create multiple types of these wellness scores, and you're entering in how the patient graded in that area to give them their overall GPA. It's really powerful, and this can be printed off on a document, could be reviewed with them on the computer, but it's really powerful. And I want to share with you how Dr. Todd Pickman is using the wellness score to increase his conversions and retention in his practice. Let's take a look.
Something that I love about cash practice is the wellness score. That's really transformed our practice, because how how it's used is we take all the measurements that we would normally on the first or second day that we're seeing a patient, and we can easily plug it in, and then it pops out a grading system that people understand on an A to an F system. Everyone understands that. And then it even breaks it down so you can separate out different components of someone's health. And showing that to a patient and being able to explain that to them, I found that that's where they get it the most.
I love he says they get it the most. That's where they get it, right?
Something that I love about cash
and to help generate with new patients, you can also advertise with posters and pop-up banners and rack cards. This is not included in the wellness score system. We sell these separately, but these are great tools to use to market people coming in. What's your wellness score? Ask us, so there's pop-up banners and, all these different types of tools that you could use. But to help with patient retention, you're going to give the patient a new wellness score with each re-exam. Again, this is going to help change the conversation away from their symptoms that are subsiding as they move through care. Like this doctor who in 2018 was collecting 1.5 million, and at the end of 2022 collecting 2.5 million. All of these doctors that I've shared with you, they have consistent cash growth. Consistent cash growth. The only practices that grow like this month after month and year after year are those that are continually converting new patients and, more importantly, retaining them. Because conversion and retention are the driving forces of success. How do you easily do this? With cash practice systems, the wellness score is the tool that you use to give patients feedback. The care plan calculator is a tool that allows you to forecast care and present your patient with a comprehensive, compliant, and required financial agreement with affordable payment options already calculated, making it super easy for patients to say yes to care. The auto debit systems help satisfy a frictionless payment experience that not only integrates into many EHRs, but most importantly, skyrockets your recurring revenue. And the Drip Education email marketing system has a library full of pre-made content, which ensures frequent contact is meaningful to your patients. And this is why our doctors have such great success with conversions and retention, because we've taken all the guesswork out of creating a practice full of loyal patients. Like Dr. Jason Day here, he says that he was able to convert over 90% of his patients onto long-term care. Dr. Felicity Keogh has a 97% success rate for care plan acceptance. Dr. Day reports his PVA was less than 10. Dr. Day reports his PVA was less than 10, but after implementing the cash practice systems, he's now up to 70. And Dr. Michelle Wozniak, her PVA increased as well. She went from about 12 to 15 to up to 50. And I know it's higher than that now because she's still working on it, right? So if your ultimate goal is to increase the amount of cash flow, revenue, patient conversion, and retention, and you want to have more free time, pay your employees better, take vacations, have more money in the bank, then all you have to do is schedule a call with a patient loyalty expert who will help you identify which steps in the loyal patient journey you may be failing or poorly executing, ultimately sabotaging your success. So I know today we focused on feedback, like how to increase conversion and retention by using a letter grade, using the wellness score system. But we have a lot more to show you. I invite you to visit cashpractice.com/feedback and book a call with us. And as a thank you, we'll give you a free digital copy of the Loyal Patient Journey. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to being of service.